Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for another game of the Champions Cup. We've just seen a game that had closer to 100 points than 50, and that was the match between Sharks and Munster. But we do now know that it is the South African side, the Sharks, progressing through to the next stage. They will be taking on either Toulouse or the Bulls. That will be decided tomorrow. But for this game, the Stormers taking on the Harlequins, an exciting contest, both sponsored by DHL and both ready for an exciting game here at Cape Town Stadium. Looks like it's half covered in shadows at the moment for this match. So I'm wondering whether or not it will be similar to that last match, how maybe if you're on the fast side, expect some high balls, because you might have to take a couple looking through at the Stormers' home side. They will be as follows: Stephen Kitsoff, Joseph Weber, and Franz Malherbe as the front row. So an all Springbok front three for the Stormers here. Ernest van Rijn and Marvin Ori will be locking up for this matchup. Dion Fourie, Dixon, and Diamani here as the loose forward trio. Then Herschel Yankees with Mani Lebok as the 19, Dan Duplessis, Ruan Nel in the midfield combo, Sanutla, Hudsonberg, and then Damien Willemse will be slotting in at fullback for this contest. Looking through at the Harlequins, Joe Marler, Walker, and Lowe. It's the front row, Lamb and Herbst as the locks. Kenningham, Williams, and the big man, Alex Dombrandt. Be dangerous off the back of a scrum. Any chance that the Harlequins get. Normally does very well in the Premiership, Alex Dombrandt, after having a not so bad Six Nations campaign. Be looking forward to this challenge. Danny Kerr and Marcus Smith, the 19 combo. Andre Esterhuizen and Northmore in the midfield. And Callum Murley, at the back. Marchant out on the wing, which is interesting. He does normally find himself slotting in as that outside centre. And then David is going to be there at number 15. Just very quickly looking through at the reserves names that stand out. I would say the fact that they have gone with the 6-2 split here for the Stormers, it's going to be intriguing to see how some of those big loose forward go, such as Engelbrecht and Marcel Tennyson. Also Clayton Mlomekis not starting this match. Instead, will be coming off the bench later on in the contest. But this is a little bit of a mini picture, minus the part at the bottom. Don't worry about those times. That is the way that the final is going to be setting up in Dublin. Now, we have already seen here Munster. They were defeated by the Sharks. The Sharks progress. Also, Leicester Tigers versus Edinburgh. It is the Leicester Tigers who do go forward. Ulster versus Leinster is happening later on tonight, alongside La Rochelle versus Gloucester. I believe a majority of the other games are happening tomorrow, including Montpellier versus the Exeter Chiefs, which will be an 11:30 p.m. kickoff here in New Zealand. But we are 2 minutes away, ladies and gentlemen, from time traveling here in New Zealand. Just a little bit of a fun one. It is because of daylight saving. It's about to go from 3 a.m. to 2 a.m. New Zealand time in just 2 minutes in the future. And Leonard has said Stormers are not going to have a full crowd with these ticket prices to a rugby match. Clayton is on the bench. Oh no, says Leonard, although they have got Lebok and Willemse in that starting lineup. Although normally when they do have all three of those men in the starting lineup, we normally do see Willemse slot in as the number 12. Sharks make Durban even hotter by putting 50 on them Irish boys, says Young 21. Although I think the way that Notchia summed it up afterwards, he said the attack coach will be happy, but the defense coach will not be, because they still conceded about 35 points in the process of scoring their 50, and a win's a win. But yeah, he said that the defense coach will not be happy at all with what they were able to do out there on the field. It's a DHL derby, says Leonard there. Yeah, both sides sponsored by DHL, right in the middle of their kits. Both very capable sides. Joe Marler walking out in South Africa. This is going to be a big opportunity for him. Definitely fans of the Stormers for this one, says Kerr there. Stephen Kitsoff, the experienced man for the Stormers. A lot of these guys will be excited to have their first Champions Cup round of 16 experience. You look at someone like a Harlequins, they've been there before. But the Stormers, to have a home game, it's going to be pretty massive for them. But Danny Kerr in charge of the Harlequins, him and Marcus Smith. Let's see what they can do as the combination. Now, Smith did struggle throughout the Six Nations. Question is, now that he's away from the international level, will he be going a lot better. There we go. We just time travel. We're back to 2 a.m. New Zealand time rather than 3 a.m. Does mean, like I mentioned, I will get an extra hour's sleep before the start of the sevens tomorrow. I'm ready to see Stormers crashing these English boys, says Young 21, and also don't like empty stadiums, says Leonard. It is a shame. Definitely when a stadium is this big, though, so it is always hard to try and fill the whole thing. But yeah, they would have liked a little bit more of a crowd at this game, I am sure. But now we're ready to go, ladies and gentlemen. The kickoff has taken place. The Harlequins going from right to left, and the Stormers able to take that one nicely. I believe that would have been number 13 straight away under pressure. Now, like I mentioned, Run now is going to be in the midfield alongside number 12, Dan Duplessis. That is a different midfield combo than we are used to seeing for the Stormers. Look like a bit of hesitation there from Herschel Yankees. Cross kick goes straight to Sanutla. Now Dan Duplessis trying to charge forward. Good tackle made on him. Low by Marcus Smith. Yankees goes across now to Mavinori. Looks like the Stormers want to start this game at a frantic pace, perhaps trying to wear down on the Harlequins early. Risky way of tackling there for Murley. He did end up in the scenario of kind of swinging his arms wide. Now, that could have gone wrong, but look at this. 3 in a row, and it's going to be Dion Forey. First try of the match for the Stormers of the match. And that is going to be a great way to start the game at home. Also, let's go to the Stormers. And Tritone says, LB, they may have a quick look, if anything, at this pass on the bottom side of the field. I don't think it was too bad, though. Flat and effective for the Stormers there. But Dion Forey, third try in the European Champions Cup. He's only played about 6 matches in it as well. So very impressive from Dion Forey. 1 minute 20 into the game. Start and a half by the Stormers. Yeah, it's only that pass there, which we have got from an angle that you can't really tell if it was forward or not. But Dion Forey scores the try. He deserves it as well. He's been working his butt off in the URC competition for the Stormers. Always right up there for man of the match contention. I think pass was flat, but should have been counted as back enough for that original offload. Last gripe after about the stadium. Stormers can have a full stadium, but their prices are wrong, says Leonard. Marnie Lebok, first kick of the match now. 2 minutes in and a great start to the game for the Stormers. We'll go like this. There we go. As updated. So this game's going to continue from where the last Sharks versus Munster game left off. They were scoring points for fun. This game looks like it might be a little bit more of the same, but I enjoyed the way that the Stormers went out there with that fast tempo, willing to go a little bit quicker for the sake of, that kick's going over from Marnie Lebok. But yeah, just for the sake of trying to put the Harlequins in a difficult position early on, rather than letting them slowly build into it. It's a cross kick from Marnie Lebok that then created the chance when they did go wide out the other way. It's a good offload from Diamani, and then Dion Forey, when he realized he was in enough space to score the try, you could see the face light up of the man. And not just because it has a whole heap of blood ready to come to the surface anytime he gets cut throughout this matchup. But Marcus Smith now, like he is about to be ready to kick. 7-0 at the moment in favour of the Stormers. Let's go Stormers. Let's get a cricket or basketball score. Here's Leonard. So the team that they will be facing, if they do manage to get themselves the victory, it will work out to be that they will face either the Exeter Chiefs or Montpellier, depending on who wins this game, of course. And as their 2 legs, I believe it's just a one-off. So if you get it right, you go through. If you don't get it right, you do actually straight away get knocked out. So it's a tough competition in that regard because you get to play everyone twice in the group stages. Quarterfinals, I believe you play everyone once as well. The quarterfinals, you play everyone once. Semifinals, you play everyone once. And then the final, just a one-off. So the days of playing 2 games against the same side are now over. 5 meters out from line. Harlequins do win themselves the penalty, so they will go for the line out here. And they will have to be aggressive because if the Stormers are willing to go for 7-pointers from the very first minute of the game, you can guarantee that the Harlequins will be doing it as well. Going off to the short side. Dom Brandt just bulldozes over the top of the Stormers. Try scored in the 3rd minute. I guess that's one way of coming back from conceded in a try, just getting your try Straight after is Lewis Linar playing today. Hamish says Blues, Nate. He is not missing from the Blues side, and Diamani will score a try, says Young 21. And also, I hope that I hope they face Montpellier in the next round at home, says Leonard there. But just going short side off the rolling maul, Don Brandt didn't even really need the maul to be able to drive himself over the line. A little bit too easy on the near side. Gap left open. Great work from Jack Walker there to be able to help push his number 8 into the field of play rather than going into touch. ARDA, come on, the Quins. Says Scrumless, welcome in. Going to be the penalty. Successfully worked by the Harlequins. Put into the corner. They scored the try. 7 points to all. If Marcus Smith can get this kick over. It's going to be a relatively tricky one, though. First kick of the match. If he misses, it will remain at 7 points to 5. Plenty of deep breaths here, Smith. Like I mentioned, in the Six Nations, he was under a huge amount of pressure, whether or not he was going to be that starting 10 option. From Cape Town on the touchline, gets it to sneak in the left-hand upright, and now it's going to be 7-all between these two sides. So 5 minutes gone, 1 try apiece for these two sides. I believe in the last game we saw 13 tries. Seems like it's going that same way. Okay, cheers. Okay, cheers. He plays for the Reds. His dad is the legend, Michael Linar. What did Lewis Linar? I know that Tom Linar is playing for the Reds. Are both Linar brothers at Reds or just Tom? Because I know Tom Linar has been playing 10 for them. Not sure about Lewis Linar, though. And also, here there, come on, Harlequin, says Schlanger. And also, who else is BT Sport isn't working, says Charlie. We actually had earlier on, people were saying that their Flow Rugby wasn't working for these matches. And Hamish, how are you this morning? Doing very well, Aiden. Hope you are also keeping well. Looping round play here from the Stormers, going to the right-hand side. The limbs are sold as if he was going to go on the outside to Hudsonberg. Now he has to use them. Now, carry forward, 20 metres out from the line. Ball available again. Our big shot on Diamani around the bootlaces. I'm back for the first half. But going to watch second half in the bar, says Jensen there. And yeah, currently it looks like you're going to get to see a lot of tries in this first 40 minutes if these two sides continue attacking the way that they are. Round the side, I believe that would have been Run now, having a crack. Now, trying to bump off of that tackle, it was Joseph Weber. Now going short again to Marvin Ori. Good evening. Says Blues Nate to scrum. That's now Herschel Yankees 10 metres out from the line here. Stormers have all of the space on the left if they do want to try and sling it wide. Joseph Weber does well to hang on to it, just bobbles the ball out the back. I believe they've got the advantage here for offside. Our quick hands, Diamani. Ball on the outside. Now they've got an advantage for a knock on. Picked up by Ruan now. Joe Marchand trying to chase him down. Don Brandt gets fended away. Big shot from Joe Marler in the rib. So Herschel Yankees now off to Damien Valimza, driven backwards in the tackle. Herschel Yankees almost ended up getting in trouble. That's going to be the advantage now because of the offside from the Harlequins. About 3 players all jumped the gun. Who scored the first? Drew, says Luke. Or the first 2, sorry. The first one, well, Marnie LeBoc's not happy there, but they were going back because his team also made an error. The first try of the match was scored by Dion Fori. Second try of the match was scored by Alex Dombrandt. So both in the loose forward trio. And LeBoc must kick for 3. Says Leonard, I don't know if the Harlequins are willing to play for the corner. I think that the Harlequins and the Stormers may be on the same page here. They'll both go for it. Sharks won if the Bulls win tomorrow. I'm watching Sharks quarterfinal live. Kings Park next weekend, says Jensen. We've got a match on our hands. Hey, brother, it's been a pretty good week. It was my sister's birthday, says Scrumless. And also, we have got there about LeBoc taking on the 3. All as well on this side, Scrumless, Aura Hanui. Looks like the ground's very dry just in that middle section. Looks like a bit of sand was popping out. My connection is absolute garbage tonight, says Kerr. I know that mine was cutting in and out a little bit later or earlier on. Sorry, it's another try. It's going to be Stephen Kitsoff this time who crosses the line. Stormers make the most of going for the corner, and they do get themselves another. And also, we have got the happy, by the way, happy belated birthday to George, says Grumless. I think he had a fun day at the field days by the sound of it, or a fun couple days. Saw Sam Whitelock, wasn't concerned about that though, wanted to get in the line for the sausage sizzle before him. Was his plan. And who do you think will win the cup? Says Sheena. Leinster are the side to beat at the moment. I feel like in any competition, but the Stormers are good, very good side. By the way, the Sharks are winning their Curry Cup game. The Sharks, they are playing up against the Lions, aren't they, if I'm not wrong, Aiden? And also, never use Flow Rugby. It's a scam, says Schlanger. And yes, Kitsy, says the Beardew. And score prediction for this game. To be honest, you got to have to go for the 30-something to maybe 30. Something along those lines. I'd say if I had to predict the score for this game, Stormers 40, Harlequins 32. Because at the moment, it seems like both sides are going to continue going for the sevens rather than the threes. And we haven't seen a whole lot of defense so far throughout these first 12 minutes of the contest. That's Stephen Kitsoff rolling over the line. In fact, the first 10 minutes. There's one a close game against the Lions. It's only 12 points to 5, says Aiden. Now it is going to be kicked long, 35 to 32 in favour of the Stormers, I reckon. Yeah, somewhere around there, I think it would be. And also Neil has said just do the commentary and stop chatting. If you want just commentary, you can find plenty of options around the world of being able to watch it. But yeah, there's plenty of options out there that aren't us. So I recommend you find one. There's going to be now Nick David taking that one nicely for the Harlequins. Going Danny Kerr. Back across to the right-hand side. Good short pass from William Evans. Now Danny Kerr passes back across. Heavy run there from, I believe it was Dino Lamb. How many did Mapimpi score the game before? Mapimpi only got himself the one try, but he did manage to get one. As Hamish time, this is the quarterfinals. Not quite. Round of 16, the moment we are sitting on. And finals in Dublin. Leinster will fancy themselves for that. Exactly right. So as long as they make it far in the competition, they'll have a great chance. And this one now, Valimza, ball on the outside, goes to Hudson-Berg, tries to chip and chase, taken inside of the 22 by Nick David. And I believe they are going to try pick this one downfield now. By the looks of it, I think Kitsoff just saying maybe go back to the mark. Rex says the Beardew. Mapimpi scored 2 tries, says Leonard. Did he? I know that he had a shocking game, even with those tries, though, Mapimpi. He ended up missing about 5 tackles. That kick hasn't found touch. But it was only going to be rolling in anyway, so the Stormers looking for the counter-attack now. Off to the left-hand side. Going to be wrestled to the side. Herschel Yankees. Van Reenen. Ruan now almost caught round the throat. And Supersport is lagging. Just saw the conversation now, says Young 21. And then also, when you get a chance, do you mind showing the lineups again? I got here late. Can't seem to find the lineups online. Cheers. Says Scrumlates. And how's the weather? It's looking very nice there. A knock on from the Stormers there, though, which is this side. And the match, they have gone with a lot of their box back. Key difference maybe is going to be that Blomekes is not starting at fullback. Instead, he will be coming off the bench with Valimza at 15. And then also Mani Lebok getting to start at number 10. So that's probably the big difference compared to what they've done in the URC, where they have had more likely Damien Valimza starting at 12. Then for the Harlequins, they've gone with probably close to their strongest side to a certain extent, with a couple exceptions. Tom Brand already scoring himself the try. Marcus Smith at 10. Esterhazen on his outside. Marchant, Murley, and David as the back 3. And, of course, Joe Marler slotting in there at number 1 as well. Look at that. Thank you. This is Kiwi Lads Chatomentary, the one, or with one eye in the chat, another on the game, says Simi Sozi. Some people get very annoyed when I don't talk about the game, even when there are stoppages, which is the main thing. Normally we try and balance it out a little bit if there's not much happening in the game during a certain few phases. That's normally when we read the chat. So they don't seem to understand that, though, which is all right. Each to their own. They can find wherever they want to watch, where they can watch the commentary to their heart's content. You're the best, thankies. Do you think Ulster could cause an upset today? If they do, it would be impressive. And looking at the Leinster side, they've got a few returns. Robbie Henshaw coming back into that side. No Johnny Sexton still, though. That's gone down in the front row, so we've got a scrum reset. Of course, at this point, I've already forgotten their name from earlier on. Who was it? Neil. Neil will want me to talk about the colour of the pitch. Say that there's a little bit of a green tinge with a bit of a sandy base there. Going good. 13 minutes in at the moment. Stormers with a 5-point lead. First time I tried following a game like this. I like your style, man, says the Bear Judo. Appreciate that. And we've got plenty more games that we are going to be doing in the future. We've got the Sevens tomorrow that we are covering, where South Africa will have their game up against the Fijians. Also, we've got Super Rugby, Hurricanes versus Force. We're hoping to cover Bulls versus Toulouse tomorrow morning, New Zealand time as well, before we go to work. Should be good fun. Those who are unaware, this isn't just a chat, it's a community of friends that meet up once a week and hang out. So you're going to see and hear banter y'all. And once a week for 2 days, says Kurt in there as well. And Hamish, what about WrestleMania? We probably won't get to watch WrestleMania when it's live anyway. I won't get a chance, mainly because of the amount of sport that is on around that same time. And also for an upset would be nice, says was Blues Nate. And also, well done, the Sharks, says Marthinus. Now, Herschel Yankees rolls it to the back again. Be kicked nice and high. Down towards the touchline, just keeps in the field of play there. I believe that is going to be once again Nick David. Charging back. Harlequins trying to pick and go there. Danny Kerr tackled by Dion Forey. Always right next to the breakdown. Is that a knock-on? Note, they've said it's gone backwards, but Kit's off on the ball. He's lost his footing. Didn't quite manage to get it. Danny Kerr, though, now looking for a box kick of his own near the halfway line, just inside of his own territory. Some good challenges in the air today. Both wingers like to hop. Oh, it's going to be a big landing for Mani Libok. They're trying to say that there was a push, which I think they've probably got a fair enough argument for. Diamani, no space on that side. Going back for the penalty for the initial push anyway. And in South Africa, we say, what's it? Means bugger off. On this channel, we read the chat. Says, listen and go. And Barra Rugby combined us all and thinks Smith will have a bad game as he did against France. I think he's already had a better game because, yeah, he's already actually probably gone. He had a shocker, didn't he? The real rough one. There's also rugby seen in Forever Sports. Case Kiwi lads, commentary style isn't for you, says Sammy Souza. And also, Blitzbox was one of the best. Very disappointed to see my national team struggling in Sevens rugby. Although they're still only ranked about 4th in the overall rankings. It's quite a lot of commentary going on for this game, says Kerr. Yeah, compared to normal. Imagine if he was on for one of those other live streams. He would have been throwing a real tantrum. Imagine if George was on a live stream while he was here. And George, earlier on in the Super Rugby live stream, he talked about 5 minutes of him seeing Sam Whitelock and a sausage sizzle, which I think would have frustrated the ones who don't enjoy the chat. Now, marching, not a lot of space near the wing. So Nutler trying to get the turnover and the breakdown, just dragging every player down over the front that he can. Joe Marlin now, first carry for him in this match for the Quins. Ernest van Reenen, he's really got himself in a bad position there. Luckily, didn't end up giving away the penalty. Short ball, Wilco Low has knocked the ball on, stolen there. Just not quite the ball security that they would have been after. Joseph Weber gets it back for the Stormers. Diamani trying to fend through. His ankle's taken out from underneath him by Luke Northmore. Now back across to the left-hand side. Ori falls awkwardly. Now Herschel Yankees back across to the left. Damien Valimza one more. Tauruan now slips over. Same can be said though about Joe Marchant. Now Herschel Yankees goes to Libok. The spin. Another offload. Dan Duplessis. In fact, that was Ben Dixon. Currently, the Stormers just wanting to keep this ball alive. They've gone for the grubber in behind. I don't think it was the best choice. It's going to be knocked on by Hudsonberg, close to the touchline. Believe they might have to go for the scrum here. And they do. Also, we have got their Blues and Super Rugby are upsetting big time now. They seem consistent in making mistakes. I think the big thing for them is still their discipline. They struggle big time in the way of breaking the chain of penalties. That seems to be the big one. Oi, says Jeff. Hello, Jeff. You are doing all right. And it's more of a group discussion. I'm putting my subscription on their company or on my company card and expensing it as therapy. And wait, when and really how long ago was this barbecue? It was at the Field Days in Christchurch only a couple days ago. Apparently they are playing a bit of what's the song called? Apple Bottom Jeans. Is that the song? As you know, I'm very gangster. So, of course, I know all the gangster music. I don't think anyone would have believed that. How much you got for Roman Reigns versus Cody? It depends on when Roman's break is going to take place because I don't think they'll leave the championship on him if he's going to be going away for a long time. It wouldn't make sense. Definitely not with them having both championships because then it's pretty much like having a champion and then he just leaves. You won't have anyone to defend the belts. 17 minutes in at the moment. The Stormers. This has slowed down. How big is Mr. Whitelock? He said he was looking up to him, and Luke Whitelock was there as well in the tent. They had the barbecue, or maybe not a tent, maybe a building, I think it might have been. Stormers win percentage at the moment, 76%. The Stormers at home as well, I should mention, Titanic. And boss, you're not doing the next game. I understand, been a busy week for you today. I sneakily descheduled it, Blues Nate, but I knew that you guys would probably pick up on it. It's mainly because of I didn't realize what was my brain going to say then? Or didn't realize that I had. No, I did realize I didn't. What am I need to think. Pretty much, I have another preview video that I've still got to edit that I'm hoping to get out tomorrow morning. So I don't know whether I can squeeze in doing that as well as the Leinster-Ulster game while still finding sleep. But it's going to be a good game. I think it's free to air in a lot of places around the world as well, which is good news. I love if one day they just stuck one of those games on YouTube. And Roman wins. There's Aiden there, and Stormers are bailing or balling. There's young 21 there. Yeah, I'm also a little bit cautious about my voice heading into tomorrow. The only other side of things. Although I'll probably end up watching at least the first half, if not maybe even the whole game while editing. And I was like, no, all goods, boss. There's Blues Nate there. But yeah, it did feel weird descheduling it. They're hard to beat for now. Says Selenium. I'm looking forward to watching Rey Mysterio versus Dominic. Says Aiden. Now, hooked back. I don't know what happened there, but Joseph Dweber just kind of gave it away. I think Jack Walker played his Uno reverse card. And it came back out his side. That looked like almost a tip tackle. Stormers give away the penalty. I believe that was for Dion Ferre joining the breakdown from the wrong side. You understand Afrikaans only a little bit. Like, I would say, I know Jou lekker ding, baie dankie. That's about it. And I was like, are you watching the Leinster game? I will be watching it, but I won't be commentating it, unfortunately. And Yagi says, Grumless, and do you understand? Oh, no, I read that one. And you can squeeze it in. If you would try coffee, says Kerr. That is true. Although water is normally good enough for me at the moment. Keep me going. Like, I think at this stage we've been awake for 18 hours, which isn't too bad. It's like a stock standard weekend for us. If you could win, or if you could, which match in the World Cup would you go watch live at the stadium? I mean, New Zealand versus France would be a big one. Ireland, South Africa, another awesome game, but probably those two quarterfinals on that side of the draw. Nice wide pass from Damien Willemse now goes out to Sanutla. Going to back himself on the outside, but Joe Marchand manages to drag him down. Hard to take water in when the game is this fast-paced. Danny Kerr, they've actually managed to get the turnover in the breakdown. I don't know whether or not that was poor ball security from the Stormers. All I know is somehow Sanutla ended up standing back up and in the back line. So I assume that maybe he just left the ball behind and got up. Who wins, Ireland woman or the French woman? It's going to be a good game. Both sides are strong, but maybe France, I would say. And also we have got there in Afrikaans, Stormers is, I know some words though, Jensen, so I know that that's one that I might not want to say. But yeah, Sanutla just ended up kind of getting left behind. Someone picked it up. And you need a big vodka, mate, at this stage of the day / night, says Fleshin. I mean, tomorrow night, I think it's going to be the harder night because we are starting the commentary at about 1 p.m.-ish New Zealand time, which isn't about, oh, no, he tried to kick it there, Mani Libok. Didn't work out for him either. Yeah, we'll be in about 10 and a half hours time that we do our first commentary live stream, and then we're going right through until 4 a.m. the next day, I believe. Anyway, that is the plan. Hopefully it all works out. And also we have got there, I know not really a word you say in, or no, not really a word you say in polite company, Vodka Red Bull. The old-fashioned one, Stephen Murray, one who's gone back for Ireland, George's workmate. He used to scull about 4. Harry's made only 15 so far for the Harlequins. And all right. Thought I was going to catch you out for that one, Bud, says Jensen. Also, we have got the A. Hamish. I'm sitting in Lush, says Gersten. And she'll be doing coverage of the F1 as well, says Kerr. I always find it's always interesting because I know that you're joking, but some people don't. Like, I'll do 24 hours of live streaming in 30 hours, and then they'll say afterwards, right, so since you've started, you might as well do the next 2 games that are on. Have I ever been in a gang with George? No. I don't think George would be able to do well in a gang because I feel like he talks too often and probably would get himself in trouble. It's going to be actually a free kick against the Harlequins for collapsing at scrum time, actually stepping back the penalty for that one. Joseph Weber just staying down, Joe Marler. Asking a couple of questions by the sounds of it. 23 minutes through, we are going back to another scrum. Good try, a set play here, perhaps, for the Stormers. They're just showing them both crashing down onto their heads. Wilco low and Stephen Kitsoff. Oh, considered being in a gang rather than being in a gang. Still no, because the same reason. I would say George was actually, he was considering going up the road if everyone had eaten all the chicken at his house. Wonder if he ended up doing it. We will find out tomorrow when he joins us for the Hurricanes versus Western Force. It's a 3:30 p.m. game. We will be covering that one on the channel. Sadly, it means that we won't be able to cover the Harlequins, or sorry, not the Harlequins, the Warriors game. Nicely taken by Marcus Smith. The Harlequins have butchered this game, says Schlanger. They're only down by 5. Oh. And Marcus Smith. I don't know what happened there. Kits off. You're allowed to charge down, but not like that. Going to be kicked into touch. Now Libok takes it quickly, goes to Damien Willems, and now on the near side. Nice step, moving to 40 meters out now from the line. It's going to be low. It's going to be... Is it an advantage? No, it's available. But Danny Kerr, who now kicks it in behind, finds quite a bit of space, and we'll be back to Nutley. He's not normally known for his kicking game, so he does fire it across to Damien Valimza, who is normally a little bit more safe with the boot. It hasn't managed to find touch for that one. And also, IPL opening ceremony was lit. Open for the coverage of the Glasgow game before the season is out, says Kerr. How many rounds we got left? We don't have many, do we? But try and make it happen. We're at Glasgow. It's going to be another knock-on, unfortunately. So quite a bit of a stop-startish game. Glasgow, who do they play next week? Glasgow play the Scarlets. I don't actually think they'll show that game here in New Zealand is the worst thing. Who do they play after? Glasgow play Connacht. Hopefully they make it in the top 8. Which I think they should, because they're sitting about 4th, aren't they? So, yeah, we should get a Glasgow game in. But for some reason, some of their games, they don't actually show them in New Zealand. What happened to all your cricket streams? You haven't done any for ages, says Aiden. So, cricket season pretty much is finished. We did a T20 live stream about 3 days ago for the West Indies versus South Africa in their 3rd T20. We did the game before that 2 days prior, and that was the matchup for the second game between the West Indies and South Africa. So we've done 2 in the last week of the cricket streams. But other than those ones, it was a little bit since we did them. We want more cheerleaders, girls, please. Mr. Broadcast, says Nate. Let's go the DHL cheerleader girls there as well. Now the Harlequins, they are going to have themselves the scrum feed. Marla doesn't look happy when it comes to scrum time at the moment. He is going head-to-head with Franz Maraharba, which is not really an easy task. Marcus Smith sitting there 3rd on the table for now. European Challenge Cup. Game in a few hours. Hopefully they don't balls it up. So that's another one, unfortunately, that they don't show here in New Zealand is the Challenge Cup. They show the champions, but not the challenge, which is a bit strange. They used to show both. Just tuned in, give a quick Update on who scored, please, H. So Dion Fori for the first try for the Stormers. Stephen Kitsoff scored the second. And then the Harlequins, Alex Dombrandt was the try scorer. Dion Fori wins the penalty there in the breakdown as well. He's always very tough to get off the ball. And does end up, the turnover. Got a big smile on his face there. Well, France are up by 12 against the poor Irish. Hopefully they fight back. So yeah, not releasing penalty is in favour of Dion Fori. That one does go into touch. That's a great kick. Down to about maybe 26 metres out. So it was a run from Caden Murdy. Then from there, Dion Fori got his hands on the ball. Didn't quite lose his footing. Just kept his body position strong over it. And then got aside the penalty. And chess commentary says young 21 there. It'd be interesting. Well, it wouldn't be interesting unless you guys also knew chess. So would you do a chess commentary? I mean, we've thought about doing other sports before. Like the most that we've done out there, I guess, was probably boxing, to be honest. Other than that, we've done just the cricket, the rugby league, and the rugby union with a bit of football. Yeah, I was riffing this game. The Kiwi lads think he's man. So in this one, it is a French referee, one who I hadn't really heard of too much for this game. It's a DHL game, FML. Leave me alone. I work for you guys. I'm getting underpaid, says Nate. Going to be another penalty against the Harlequins, this time for closing the gap at lineout, or in fact throwing the man across, they've said. You're doing the Ulster match tonight? I am not. I will be watching that game, but I won't be doing the commentary for it. Benetton just gone level with Connacht in the Challenge Cup, says Kerr. And will you be doing the State of Origin again? We most likely will be doing State of Origin. And also we want to do a little bit more of the NRL in the near future, but we just haven't quite got around to getting that all set, mainly because of how hectic it has been with all the rugby and cricket that's been on over the weekends. Now 12 minutes remaining in the first half. Joseph the Webb about to throw this ball in. Oh, Dion runs over. Let Joseph know exactly what their plans are. Go to the front to Marvin O'Ree. And also we have got there last week in a Herbst mode, Luke Pearce down. Round the side, Dion Fori, second try of the match from. He's already got a man of the match performance. He's got a turnover, 2 tries, one of which did actually come from his initial turnover that he was able to get. But the Stormers now leading 17 points to 7. And Ireland, North France will win the World Cup. Southern Hemisphere teams will give this man a raise, DHL. Also, we have got, do you think Scotland could beat South Africa in a World Cup? The thing is, Scotland, they have their moments. And I think in every World Cup scenario, top 3 sides in most pools need to be cautious of each other. Just like Italy at the moment. Like, don't get me wrong, Italy beating France or New Zealand's a long shot, but the way they've been improving recently, you never know. Scotland, a little bit higher ranked than Italy. They could maybe break the Irish winning streak. Who knows how it will end up going. Dominant scrum by the Stormers forward pack, says Blues Nate. There's over now Money Lebok. Lining up another kick. Currently 1 from 2. And went to make a cup of tea and try. Who scored? It was once again Dion Fori. So he has scored 2 now in this matchup. Money Lebok just getting rid of the broken pitch around his feet. Looks quite dry. It looks like they've put down some sand and then laid down some new turf. And the players are just absolutely ripping it to shreds. Come on, you Quins, for the love of God, says Grumlass. Although how many games in the past have the Quins been behind by like 20 and then come back to win? So I want to say this game is not over yet. That kick is missed from Mani Lebok. And that'll keep the score at 17 points to 7. And Super Dion says, there be a due. And also, how about a billiards commentary, says Schlanger? Billiards is tricky. There are some sports I feel that you need to be able to see them as well. Just because sometimes it's like golf. People have asked, will we do some golf? But I feel like golf's one of those ones you want to see where the shot's gone. You want to see where the putt's going, whether or not it's going to drift in the hole. So certain sports are better seeing rather than hearing, I think, overall. Also, what is the next match you are doing? Will be the matchup between Samoa and Kenya, which is at about 1:30 p.m. New Zealand time. That will be one of about 15 live streams we are doing tomorrow. So, also a reason why Leinster versus Ulster, as much as I'm going to be watching that game, we won't be doing the commentary with the amount that we have got on tomorrow as well. Only fans commentary, if anything, says Kerr in there. Well, if you could get some sort of deal going, or we could get a deal going, I should say, with some sort of pool company, or I don't know what you'd have, pool competition. And rugby needs detailed commentary, says Niall. I'm surprised you're still here, Niall. You told me off about maybe 20 minutes ago, and you're still here. So I must not be doing too bad of a job, unless maybe you got kicked out of every other place that you did end up going as well. Danny Kerr now kicking it in behind, looking for a bit of territory. Going to be rolling awkwardly. Oh, Damien Valimsa fumbles, but manages to just rip it out of the hands of Joe Marchant. And you can see the frustration on his face. Another knock on, that time by Damien Valimsa. Okay, he should stop yelling at the ref like that, or he's going to get himself in a little bit more trouble. Though I think George would accidentally break a driver playing golf. We've played before. He hit my ball. We spent 20 minutes looking for my ball. He had hit it, so that's why we couldn't find it. Who's his boss? I missed it. Says, Nate, that is Neil, who was angry earlier on because we weren't talking about the game when there was a stoppage in play. And also Neil has been drawn in with the banter, says Kerr. And also we have got there, yes indeed, sir, scrum lads, DHL give us forklift driver a pay rise, says Nate. Forklift drop, it's hard to say apparently. Probably harder to do, I would think, driving a forklift. Although I'm sure once you get that muscle memory going, you'll be fine. Frisbee golf looked like a good laugh, says Kerr. Yeah, it seems like one that would be practice makes perfect. In the end, I think George won by one shot, and then we did a couple extra holes, which is where you saw me hitting every tree possible. Our scrum feed for the Harlequins, 5 meters out from the line. If they can score now, they'll be in a very good position. Right, here we go. Danny Kerr goes in. Alex Dombrandt has it at the back. Gives it to Kerr. Now here comes Andre Esterhazen. 5 meters turns into 3. Now Alex Dombrandt trying to spin out. Finds the offload to Marcus Smith. Ball out wide here. Oh, it's just skittered past Cannon Murley, who was waiting for it on the outside. And also, I need to catch up on Kiwi Lads vlogs. We've only had probably one since the last slot, I believe. But after a while, I get the hang of it, boss, says Blues Nate. And I thought George only liked KFC and not barbecue, says Aiden. George likes whatever he can find that's got meat, you know. It's normally the main thing. Used to be a place near me that did soccer golf and rugby golf. Closed with COVID. Yeah, there was a football golf up the road about 15 minutes, but it once again, similar to yours, closed down. That wasn't due to COVID, though. That was just due to bankrupt. And I have the Ireland versus France ladies game on the TV. I have the Connacht versus Benetton game on my laptop and you on my phone. So multitasking. Jeez. Busy. But that's what happens when there's so much rugby on a weekend. It's very hard to pick what games you do want to end up watching / covering. And even maybe a hacky sack commentary would be good. Says Schlanger. You guys ever heard of cornhole? I think some of you have. We could play a bit of cornhole for a live stream. Sounds a bit dodgy. Sounds like something that would go on the OnlyFans Kerr, but it's like kind of you throw a sack through a hole from a distance. More exciting than it sounds. That is going to be a free kick going the way of the Harlequins there. The elbow's going down at scrum time. That is against Joe Marler. Franz Malharba in the better of him so far throughout this first half. Mani Lebok with his left boot gets it into touch, so it is actually going to be a penalty rather than a free kick, I should say. And yep, IAGR 33. There's Nate. The Harlequins still down by 10 points, 4.5 minutes remaining. That description didn't make it sound dodgy, or didn't make it sound any less dodgy, Hamish, says Kerr. Yeah, it's one that I don't even know if, maybe YouTube would allow you to title it. Surely there's cornhole leagues getting put up on YouTube sometimes. a bit. I know that there was one on ESPN a while ago, so that tells you how big shot it is in some places in America. Now 40 meters out from their own line here. The Stormers throw the ball and nicely taken by Marvin Ori, but it is not straight from Joseph Dweber. Clearly not straight is the call there from the ref. I think Dweber disagrees, but uncontested. So that normally changes the rule a little bit, or at least it changes it in some people's minds. Hi from Switzerland, says Karma Peach. Welcome in once again, mate. You have been keeping well. 36 and a half minutes through first half. It's another scrum. We've seen quite a few of those throughout this match. We actually had 2 tries in the first 5 minutes of this game. From there, it has slowed down. Stormers for the win, says Eben. That would mean that they go on to face up against either the Exeter Chiefs or Montpellier, whoever ends up winning their next fixture. Now, Danny Kerr feeds the ball in. Big push coming here, but neither side really willing to budge, although now the momentum has slightly gone in favour of the Quins, with the advantage. Might be a penalty for Rowan now, knocking it down as well. Yes, it is. I'm waiting for the Ulster match, says Karma Pitch. Sadly, we aren't covering that one, but we will be watching it, seeing exactly who manages to get themselves the victory in the Irish Derby. And curious, how can I find a girlfriend and a wife that loves rugby or plays, says Aiden. What happened to your last slightly scenario, Aiden? I assume that you ditched the one that wanted marriage after 2 days or whatever it was, and that didn't want to meet your parents, but wanted to get married before meeting your parents. That was probably a smart move. It sounded like a married at first sight scenario in Australia, and those don't normally end well. But, I mean, if we all know the answer to that, Aiden, yeah, what, we'd be on to something, wouldn't we? Well, somebody called a popo. Whoops. Whoop. Sounded the police, says Nate. My Harlequins throwing the ball in 20 metres, all taken, but it's going to be an advantage for closing the gap. Once again, Noble Positivity has said, go Stormers, go. They go back for the penalty for jumping across. Now the Harlequins have got a really good crack of going for the 5 metre line. Marcus Smith does end up getting it right. We are now ready to go. Marcus Smith needs to get this one 5 metres from the line or somewhere near. He's done that part. Now they just need a straight throw from Jack Walker. Go for another rolling maul like they did for their last try. And we'll be very close for the second half. And what do you call a fish with no eyes? Now, in my brain, I thought its name, but I don't think that will be the case. Richard, do let us know. Ah, yes. Yes, of course. What do you call a deer with no eyes? It's a fun one. And also somebody call the police. Says Aiden there in the sad faces from Kerr. A Greenland shark. Here's a says Richard. Right, 7. Penalised for offside. Giving away quite a few at the moment. My ex played rugby in Ireland. Great scrummager. And see, I didn't realise that was where it was going to come. Great scrummager is what I read, and then I realised there was extra parts on top of that. They might consider, yep, they're going for the scrum again. 8 seconds remaining in this first half between the two sides. Harlequins have not had the better of the scrums. What do you call a hand with an eye? Hand with an eye? I think I'm gonna keep quiet for you, Nate. You draw an eye on your hand. And that joke makes me really want to call the cops down. What do you call a dog? Waff no legs, says Dirky. A handy, says Schlanger. How do we end up in this scenario? Who started it? I think it was you, Richard, wasn't it? It's all right. Now 30 seconds remaining. Or 30 seconds past, in fact, the 40-minute mark. Ball becomes available at the back for Dom Brandt to use if he decides to, but I think he's going to be leaving it now for Danny Kerr. Yes, he does, who sweeps around the back of the scrum. Gives it off to Andre Estes and hasn't had too many carries in this match. I believe I can only count the 2 times that we have seen him. Now, Danny Kerr, ball across to Wilco Lowe. Dropped it the last time he had it, the big man. Joseph Weber had a hand on the ball. Doesn't quite turn it over. Good step there from Kenningham. Oh, now Franz Malharba, he crawled into that breakdown. Got in the way of the ball. Probably lucky not to get penalised. That one, and Flow Rugby is always blank. If Flow Rugby isn't working worldwide. And does anyone know if there's an electricity issue in South Africa? The broadcast in Flow Rugby. Yeah, Flow Rugby seems to be really struggling with the Champions Cup. Time left in the first half. We're currently at 40 minutes, so as soon as there's a stoppage or anything like that, then it will be the end of the half. Now going off to Marcus Smith. Great low tackle made. Danny Kerr, 5 meters out from the line. There's going to be the advantage in favour of the Harlequins. And they'll go back for another penalty. I'm so glad I stumbled on this link. I have load shedding, says Evan. And there as well. But yeah, we will be covering a majority of the Champions Cup games that we can. Ironically, this is where I say we won't be doing the next game between Ulster and Leinster, but that's only because it does start at about 4:30 a.m. New Zealand time. Oh, bit of push and shove there between Dion Foree and Joe Marler, both feisty characters in their own way. And also we have got the Flow Rugby as probably a bigger scam than crypto. Benetton by 9. Says Kerr there, and time left in the first. Oh, no, I read that one. Perhaps Flow Rugby's licensing fees are not paid, says Mo. And the Benetton Connacht game is showing, though. So they've got the Challenge Cup, which is not the Champions Cup, perhaps. Because I know in New Zealand we have the Champions, but not the Challenge. Power's back on at 6 p.m. South Africa time. Oh, sweet. So you will almost be ready for that one. And Hamish, come on. Come on. Hamish, come on. You can do that stream. We all believe in you. Says Aiden. Well, it's one of the cases of I probably could do it, but I also don't want to be completely exhausted for Monday. Like, we're still going to do probably about 14 hours of live streaming tomorrow, which it's interesting, isn't it? Because this is going to be our 4th rugby union game of the day. We've also done about maybe 6 other sevens matches, but it still feels like we're letting you guys down by not doing all the games. But yeah, we've got about 14 hours tomorrow that we are doing. Don't the clocks go back 1 hour to 9 in New Zealand? What's the problem with the 4:30 a.m. game? Extra hour in bed after this. Yeah, they've already gone back with time travel. We're currently 2:48 a.m. here in New Zealand compared to the 3:48 that we would have been. Yeah, I believe it is a 4:30 a.m. start time. I'll have a look. Whoops, that's the KFC app. I don't know why my finger always goes there. It's because it's on the next page in the same spot. Muscle memory. You deserve rest, Hamish. You're a rugby Superman. There's Scrum Lass. Oh, trying to go over the top there. Joseph Weber. We're actually 42 and a half minutes through at the moment. Harlequins still with another attack before the end of the first half, though. Now 10 meters out from the line. Trying to jump over, actually hurdling it there. I believe that was William Evans. Dombrand gonna be the knock on, and that will now be halftime between these two sides. They'll be going into the break. 17 points to 7 down the Harlequins. How many times has that happened throughout their Gallagher Premiership? Trailing at halftime, just as we planned. Wouldn't be a Quins comeback if we were leading, would it? Says Sebastian True. See how it works out, though. Hopefully this game is going to end up being relatively close. Yeah, so 4:30 a.m. in an hour and 40 minutes time is going to be the next game for us here in New Zealand. I believe I'll still be awake at that stage. Hopefully I would have finished my preview for another one of the matches that we are covering tomorrow in the sevens. We have got 3 previews coming out tomorrow morning. Then our first game, Samoa versus Kenya, followed by, I believe we've got 2 other quarterfinal fixtures, New Zealand versus Argentina and South Africa versus Fiji. Then we are covering the Super Rugby Pacific game taking place between the... Where was I up to? The Western Force and the Hurricanes. We're doing that one. Then we are going to be doing, straight after that, I believe we've got more sevens going on to the 5th place semifinals. Leave it to Hamish for an all-nighter commentary while stopping by and dozing off to sleep, says Simi Souza. And they love toying with you, but in the end, tend to satisfy. Says Kurt. Oh, for the Quins, I was confused for a second. And the only thing good about being able to watch or not being able to see this game is that I don't have to watch an exhaustive Joseph Weber. Says Mo. And also, can you please make a blog about ice hockey or skating with George? I think me and George combined know about one thing about ice hockey, ice hockey, and that is that it's on ice. Played a bit in NHL, but nothing really to any extent that like would extend to a blog. Anyone notice that 2 Cents never streams anymore? He does the occasional game, but he is currently, I believe, in China at the moment where they don't actually allow YouTube. So I believe he's got to go through a VPN process to be able to do a video. But yeah, I don't think he'll be doing too much streaming while he's in China, but he still pops in for the occasional live stream on his channel every once in a while. Also, he came on our channel last week. Him and Tony. The last 2 comments from me should have been been in one post, says Kerr. And also, good evening, Sebastian Arahunui, sir, says Nate. And play carries on. And our ref is staring at the sideline guy for confirmation for at least 6 seconds, says the snooze. But I am curious. We're going to look at the betting odds for this match. The reason we do so is because the Harlequins, in the past, they have been $26 underdogs and they win. Now, I don't know if that's going to be the case in this game. Might be a bit more challenging with the way that it's currently sitting, but we'll go sport. We'll go rugby union. Harlequins are $8.50 underdogs at the moment in this contest. They're only down by 10 points. So they've had worse before, the Harlequins, that is for sure. Like I mentioned, $26 underdogs going back to win a game, something that they've kind of made their specialty in the Gallagher Premiership, but they haven't looked likely to score other than right at the end of that half. Whoa, I'm in slow motion. Okay, now I'm in fast motion. Did that just glitch for you guys, or was it just cool? And maybe just for me, because for me, I slowed right down, and then it went brrr, and went all done. Grant, and how are you feeling so far, Sebastian? I saw that apparently you're quite the Discord commentator, Grant, from what Fleshin told me. Might have to get you on the channel at some stage. Yeah, it went weird. Says Richard, can you put George in the goal on ice hockey and the Kiwi lads take shots to see if George can save any? I mean, we could make him a goalie. We've done that before in the past, but it didn't go too well. We actually stuck him and Isaac in the goal, and they almost got hit with the same ball. I ended up bending it into the post, hitting it, and then it bounced back in the field of, like, kind of went back across, and they both kind of flinched, and it went between them into the goal. I don't believe a word Fleshin says. So are you saying you didn't do top-notch Discord commentary? And also, we have got there 2 Cents said he will stream on TikTok while in China, says Schlanger there. Well, that's one way of doing it. Grant is a golden addition to our wee community. Cheers, Grant. I'm loving this game, honestly. The 10 out of 10, says Sebastian. Yeah, and you wonder, second half, 10 points difference. Harlequins, if they score within the first 5 or 10 minutes, they're right in the contest. And we'll make it very tricky. But currently, the stats for this matchup, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I will mention these stats aren't completely accurate, but they are close enough that we can kind of get a fair assumption from how the game's been going. 59% possession for the Stormers, 60% territory for them in this game as well. 254 meters gained for the Stormers, 58 for the Harlequins. 4 line breaks for the Stormers, none for the Harlequins or Harlequins. TikTok is about to get banned in this country, says Mo. And yelp, says Grumless. I haven't actually got TikTok, believe it or not. I know that George started up a Kiwi Lads TikTok at one point, but then it ended up, he tried to pay to get people, like, it was like a promotion thing, and he paid some money, and then he learned that all of the people who subscribed or like whatever you do on TikTok, follow, I guess. All the people that followed were just bots. So pretty much TikTok took his money and said, yeah, and then we'll just put a whole heap of random people who aren't going to watch it. And well, France put up 25 on Ireland in the first half. I'm in shock. Now, the French women's side, very good. They got through to the semi-finals. 3-1 over of the Women's Rugby World Cup before New Zealand knocked them out, became the eventual winners. Fun fact. 48 tackles made by the Harlequins, 28 from the Stormers. And Smith haven't played too much Prem Rugby. Yep, that's it. Says Ed Vogel in there as well. But we will go like this. We'll go like that. There we go. Maybe. Like that. One moment, ladies and gentlemen. I am just transferring plugs. That one is extremely warm. So we will switch it to that one. She'll be right. There we go. Bloody good. And you really, or you mean George actually believed he was getting real people to follow him? What the heck gave him that delusion? Says Grumley. It's because George is, I guess, he's a little bit at times naive when it comes to social media. I guess you could say he thought that, yeah, they were just going to send a heap of subs his way and that would be all good. They didn't do that, unfortunately for him. Also, we have got the, I don't have social media, just YouTube and now Discord after today, says Kirsty. I'm a bit the same. I have Instagram only so that I can use it to work out lineups when they're first announced. Other than that, though, I don't use social media, which is bad because for that job that I mentioned that I've somehow possibly got, I think I'm going to have to do the social media marketing influencer, well, not influencer, but marketing side of things. That made a weird noise, but it should be all right. I feel like the management side of things is going to be a little bit easier, though, to be honest. About getting people in the door, something that hopefully I will be able to do. Hydration. It'll be good for you. Just start fire. I'm actually very keen after this live stream to cook some food. It's currently going to be about 4. And how much marketing does a local bowling alley do, says Schlanger? Well, I think it's kind of making the online presence as well. But it's not in the local town. It's a little bit further down south where it's a slightly bigger town. If you like bowling, you get your ass down here. About done. I think the bowling alley should sponsor Kiwi Lads. Well, that's the thing. They're going to allow us, I believe, to do videos from inside there, whether it is going to be actual bowling or whether, like, they've got quite a bit in there. We've got a couple ideas. I don't want to give too much away, but if we get to do some of the stuff that we're slightly planning, it will be a lot of fun. Commentary is brought to you by Stairs Kerr there. But I guess it's like every small business, how you got to try and do some sort of advertising to try and get people in there and turning over profit, you know? Oh, the tackles has been updated. It's actually now 49 by the Stormers, 48 by the Harlequins. That's changed us a little bit. Let's just say he's okay, as every time I see him, he has KFC with him. Says Aiden there. On live stream. I don't think he's ever eaten KFC on live stream. That is something that if I was like to him, hey, you want to try this? He'd be like, absolutely. Let's get it happening. But it hasn't happened yet, but it may be not too far away. George has a KFC mukbang on a live stream. I'm trying to think of the most that he's eaten on a live stream in terms of an item. Maybe chips. I don't think he's had anything really else other than that. He's always had chocolate milk. Someone's getting away with murder at the breakdown, says Canvas Bed. Yeah, Dion Foree, he's normally a very 50-50 kind of fellow. Some referees will penalise him every time. Other referees will say he's good every time. So it just depends on who you get. But he hasn't been doing too badly so far throughout this game. But a couple of the other moments throughout there, I think I mentioned one, how Franz Malharba just pretty much crawled onto the breakdown and then just lay on top of it so that the ball wouldn't come out. And then it took ages for the Stormers to be able to get it. Sorry, for the Harlequins to be able to get it. George gets on the beers. He doesn't like beer, fun fact. He normally drinks things that are stronger. I'm trying to think of what he go for. He goes for a vodka Red Bull every once in a while when Stephen asks him to, but Stephen's gone back to Ireland, so we don't get to see Stephen anymore. But I can't think of what he drinks. I'm sure he'll be able to tell me tomorrow what he has up his sleeve. Not literally, just in the drinking arsenal, I guess you could say. Second half, probably not too far away from getting underway. We're seeing 2 tries from Dion Fori, 1 from Steven Kitsoff, and then the Harlequins, they were able to score just the 1 try. That was Alex Dombrandt in the early stages of the first half. And Dixon Sider says, Curvin, and how many buckets of chicken can George eat? He's one of those people, though, that if he eats the same thing over and over again in one sitting, he'll get bored of it. So, like, he goes through about maybe 3 or 4 chicken thighs from K Fry, but then after that, he'll be like, nah, like, it's too repetitive. Which is why when we're going to do the chicken nugget challenge at some stage, which we still have to organize, but once we do get the chance to do the chicken nugget challenge, I think he'll struggle because he'll get bored. And maybe George should drink proper beer, not what they serve in New Zealand, says Grant there. And Aussie Kiwi lads approaching 23K subs. Congrats, you lads. Thank you very much, Scrumless. In fact, we'll have a look while we are at halftime in this one. Anthony Joshua, he's fighting soon, isn't he? Forgot about that one. And Canada playing the USA in the Women's 4 Pacific Series on World Rugby's YouTube channel for anyone curious about that. Be worth the watch. Some stage. We are currently sitting on 78 away from 23,000. We haven't really got anything planned out for 23K. We haven't really got anything planned out for 25K. We didn't expect to hit 1K, so we're still kind of trying to process that in the brain. But it's been an interesting journey, that is for sure. Yeah, it's going to be busy over the next few weeks. And like I mentioned earlier on, just because I'm going to be working during the week for a couple different jobs doesn't mean that we're going to have any less live streams or anything like that on the weekends. I believe we're probably going to end up almost with more with the schedule that we do see heading forward. But sevens next week, that is going to be a busy time. Also, alongside that, we have got the Champions Cup quarterfinals next week that we will be covering on the channel. Then there is still Super Rugby, hoping to bring in some NRL at some point in the near future. And then whatever else is squeezing in. URC, of course, wins the next round of the URC. That has taken place. Where is it? Saturday, 15th of April. So not next weekend, but the weekend after. We're back into it. Oh, heap of random hour live streams by the looks of those ones, which is always nice. We love a random hour live stream. No, it's all good. I feel like my body has got used to being up for 24 hours on a weekend, going to sleep for 2 hours, and then being up for another 24 hours, which probably, like I said in the past, probably not good for you. I wouldn't recommend the sleep schedule that I am on, but she works for me at the moment anyway. That is because it kind of has to. We do 14 hours of live streaming a day sometimes. Don't have time for the rest. And by the rest, I mean the sleep rather than the rest as in the other live streams that we don't get to do. Now we are not too far away from the second half. Getting back underway. Currently down by 10, the Harlequins. Dombrandt, the lone try scorer, wants to add a couple more onto his Quinn side here. See if they can do it. The shade pretty much completely over the stadium now. And sleep is for the week, says Grant. True. What food are you going to make after the game? Chips, says Aiden. I've had chips twice today. So probably not. Although it has been a long day. Like I mentioned earlier on, probably been up for about 19 hours at this point. So like 2 lots of shoestring fries. I'll probably end up, I mean, I'm kind of keen on either cooking some sausages. I think there's a garlic bread in there. That might go all right. And that's hour of the morning, maybe garlic bread, some sausages, and a bit of bacon. I'm just going to have a massive fry up by the sounds of it. That is also in between editing and getting all the live streams scheduled for tomorrow that we are doing. Kicked them on from Manny Libok. The ball. Oh, they tried to start exactly how they did in the last half, but it doesn't quite go into the hands of Hudsonberg. Now Harlequins will have themselves a line out about 10 meters out from the line. Stormers Yaulikading says Ben in there. Oh, sorry, Eben, I should say. Yeah, it could be 40 minutes time. It might feel like something completely different in the old food department. Bacon sandwich on garlic bread. The game is now showing. Says Mo on garlic bread with cheese. Oh, that's an idea. It doesn't have cheese with it, but I could put cheese in it. That's going to be a free kick now to the Stormers. That kick has worked in behind relatively well. They will now have a scrum 10 metres out from the Harlequins line. Like I mentioned, whoever wins this game will be going on to face up against the winner of Montpellier versus the Exeter Chiefs. The Harlequins can force a comeback. They will end up playing maybe up against the Gallagher Premiership opposition in the Exeter Chiefs, whereas we may get to see a matchup that we haven't really seen at all before, I don't believe, which is Montpellier versus the Stormers. 3 penalties conceded at scrum time by the Harlequins compared to the one that we have seen by the Stormers. Gone down in the front row again. It's really been scrappy at scrum time. No one really able to find their momentum. And you all making me hungry at like 1 a.m. in the morning, says Aiden. Yeah. Sorry about that. We always end up talking about food on the late night live streams, but it just kind of happens. So, Sebastian, if you are here at the moment, who's the player for the Harlequins who's going to score the next try and turn this game around for them with them being down in points? May I please have bread? Says Scrumless. Yes. And may until I'm back in the UK, says Kerr. I need one for the bacon sandwich on garlic bread. Sounds all right, doesn't it? Although this garlic bread's not quite... It'll be interesting to make a sandwich with it because it's one of those ones that are like the long roll with the cuts down the middle. So, I mean, sandwich-wise, you could put a little bit of bacon in between. Sorry, this is probably making people even hungrier. We will stop talking about that one, but it's probably what I'm going to do. That's going to be knocked on by the Stormers. Passing across. See, this is where if we had a food sponsor, we'd be sorted, wouldn't we? Because we'd be able to be like, hey, guys, use our code for this food. And then, boom, sponsor. And yeah, it's bright o'clock, y'all, and drink some Powerade Zeros. I haven't actually had a Powerade Zero since the cricket season, fun fact. You can. I'll probably fry up something myself, says Aiden. Right, 1 meter from their line here. Danny Kerr kicks it downfield, and it does go into touch. Do they take it quickly? They decide against it in the end. Do you ever sleep before midnight? Only when I've got live streams after midnight. It's the only time. I've tried sleeping earlier, but I always end up having something to do. Like, that's the thing. During a normal weekday, you'd think, oh, okay, he's not live streaming. Surely he gets to bed at a decent hour. Most weekdays, I'm going to sleep at about maybe 4 or 5. So I spend about 6 hours editing, which is stuff that you guys haven't actually seen come out yet. Some of it's GoPro footage. Some of it's just doing scheduling and working out what we're actually going to be posting in the near future. And foods, don't mention foods. I'm hungry right now, says Nate. We're doing some Curry Cup, though. There's Aiden. We were going to be doing a Curry Cup game last week, I believe. But we didn't end up doing it in the end because it did overlap with the West Indies game. So it's a tricky one. Because Aiden, you have so far said you want Curry Cup, but you've also said you want cricket. I did cricket rather than Curry Cup. Was it the right decision, or would you have preferred I went Curry Cup rather than the cricket? It's a juggling one. And also we have got there, Amish is addicted to Discord. The Discord, I've hardly been on the Discord in a while. Like, I post every once in a while in there, and 4 or 5. Do you sleep the whole day then, says Schlanger? I sleep till like maybe 1 p.m., depending on the day. Like, if I'm working the next day, I'll try and go to sleep at maybe like 1 or 2. 2:30, but somewhere around there, and then I'll work that next day from the morning onwards. What's up, lads? Says Atene. And also, I did see Sebastian a little bit earlier on did say that it was going to be, where is he? Where's he gone? Where's Seb at? Caden Murley, who will be the try scorer. Final answer. He's locked it in. And you smashed that, Kiwi lads. Or smashed that, Kiwi lads. Tell your friends, your partner, your ex-partners, sub to the Kiwi lads and lamb chops and bottlers on the braai. I don't know if we've got any lamb chops in there. We had steak. Did someone say KFC? Not that I know of. I'm ordering room service, says Kerr. I do love an all-day breakfast, though. I feel like that is something that can be very, very enjoyable. And chicken tenders and honey mustard sauce, good choice. Okay, they're saying no try, I believe, here. The referee was not responding to his TMO. He was just sitting there listening. And then the TMO was like, "Can you hear me?" And the referee was like, "Yes." And then he just continued on about his day. I believe it's going to be no try here for double movement. Is that the way that they've called it? Okay. No try. Penalty in favour of the Harlequins for double movement. And Benetton are winning Connacht 21 points to 12. And also, I was just going to say Quins play a bit better with Lina and Green. The current squad is strong, but it doesn't have this synthesis right now. See scrum last there. And hi there, Kiwi lads and Hamish. I'm nearly finished at work. Another 90 minutes. How's the Stormers doing? They're not doing too badly. They've got themselves the 10-point lead, but certainly not enough to be safe in this contest up against the side that does often come back from behind. Joseph Dweber tried to kill Marcus Smith there, charging through, but he completely missed him. Didn't line him up too well. Now Danny Kerr does end up with the ball on the left-hand side. Wilco Low hits it up. There was an arm around the head of Hudsonberg, though. There's Grant. So I believe Stephen Kitsoff asked about that, and they did end up saying he was falling into it, I think is the description that they gave. Diamani disappointed there, I believe. It's going to be not the easiest. Okay. That was a big yawn. It's our first yawn for like at least a few hours, I believe. And the Harlequins, another scrum feed. Commentator saying this game at the moment just feels like it could be on edge. Although, don't get me wrong, if I had to pay for it, they could F off, says Kerr. Do you get like a mini box of Pringles, Kerr? Because I know that when you're at a hotel or something, they always try and charge you like $10 for the little box of Pringles. Do you get that for free? Like when you're on an airplane and you're like, oh, I wouldn't mind some Pringles. And then they're like, that'll be $27 for just that small tub. Thank you. Would you like some jelly beans with that for an extra 57? 46 minutes gone in this one, though. Now another scrum. We had a lot of these throughout the match. And who won in the Sharks? The Sharks were able to get themselves to win 50 points to 35. So high score and a fair, 85 points. It looked like this game was going to be heading in a similar direction, although both sides have managed to now shut each other down quite well. Herschel Youngkey's about to feed the ball on. Sorry, I meant for the Stormers rather than the Quins here with the scrum feed. Goes in. Oh, I'm going to take a backward step. I would say very lucky that Kitsoff didn't get penalised, but that one is going to be kicked across field again. Sanutla waits for it. Throws on the inside to Damian Williams. Oh, now he might have just pulled off a miracle finish here. Damian Williams, he thinks he's got it. Do you cover darts too? Says Eben. I haven't in the past. Darts is another one that I think is a little bit more, you want to be able to show it rather than just talking about it. But who knows, maybe one day we can cover some sort of darts. Damian Williams has managed to finish that one very nicely. He got pushed towards the touchline by the Harlequins defender, but just managed to keep himself in the field of play. I believe Joe Marchant was the man who tried to push him out. And Shane Hamish, you've been going for hours, need your beauty sleep. I must say you're a fabulously energetic fellow. Oh, the foot was extremely close to the touchline for Limsa, but just staying in by half an inch. If only I'm working. Says Kerr there. It's Stormers yell like a ding. Our local burger in the south, served with pineapple. Surprisingly nice. Says Kerr there. Yeah, Limsa, all about the balance there. To be able to keep himself in the field of play just enough. Got the finish in the corner. Now Money Lebok will be going for the kick at the post. And they're making us hungry. We've got to give them some ingredients and vice, says Blues Nate. So the Harlequins, they are down by a bit. But the funny thing is, they've still fought back from bigger deficits than this in the Gallagher Premiership. Now, this Stormers side, you'd have to say, maybe playing, Marty Lebox slips. It's still, just short. Had the accuracy, but just ended up losing his footing, which seems to be the case for a lot of players. Even Damian Valimza in his celebration when he ran off to the side, he did end up getting his boots stuck. Brilliant work from Valimza, though, to be able to get that try in the corner. Joe Marchant thought he had done enough. His toe was very close to the line. They didn't really check that too often, though. They pretty much just went, oh, look, that was some finish from Valimza. Yeah, it was. Right in the corner. Now in the TAB department, Harlequins are apparently $7.50 underdogs. How's that possible? How can they be less? How can they be less of an underdog than they were at halftime when they were down by 10 points? When they're now down by more than 10 points. Just happens, I guess. I thought they'd be up to like the $21 mark. And even some salami and cheese pizza will do, says Roof. Enjoy your best friends now, Kurt. Now, on the halfway line, Stormers have got themselves the scrum. Oh, ball bounces out the side. Now, normally in sevens, that counts as same channel, but because we're in Union, that counts as play on. Kicked into touch by Damian Valimza. Does seem like now the tactic for the Stormers, similar to the Sharks, is force them back. TAB admin is feeling bad for the Quins, or he just knows that they could lose a lot of money. And it's because I just put 1,000 on the Quins. Says Aiden, well, that was quite a dumb thing to do, Aiden. Just joking. Yes. You probably still put 100 on them, though, didn't you? You normally do have a few bets going. Hopefully you have cancelled your betting account and pizza shops. Are you opens? Hello? We're hungry. You see, if we had a sponsor of either Domino's or Pizza Hut, ideal. Ball's going to be in favour of the Quins. An advantage now, starting to break the line. Smith gets the ball back, goes to the kicking behind. And I think that's something that they've been doing just a little bit too often in this match, is kicking the ball away. Murley takes it well. Tackled by Dion Fourie. Going to get into the breakdown, able to get at the clean turn over there. Foot trip. That's going to, it's a knock on, but it was a foot trip. Going to be all right with that one. No, I haven't. I've got some small bets on WrestleMania tomorrow, but not much. And money is my hero in KFC is still open here, says Schlanger. See, that's the thing. For us, KFC closes at 10. So if you're out any later than that, there's not really all. Okay, they're just showing once again that slow motion of his foot on the touchline. Very close. But just manages to stay. I'm sure that will be one on social media that people are like his foot was in touch. His foot wasn't in touch. They'll have fun having their arguments while we make some garlic bread. 2-minute noodles with sweet chili sauce and some creamy garlic bread with extra garlic. Says Roof there. And Stormers get it done. Blow the opposition out of the park. High waves and the running through those bodies. Says Roof, and Roman to retain. Says Evan there as well. Those ladies are having a great time at the ground. Now, believe it is going to be the Harlequins now with possession at scrum time. Danny Kerr about to feed the ball. And like I mentioned, they have been outclassed at scrum time throughout this whole match, but the ball is now available. Marcus Smith kicking it again, looking for the cross kick. Marchant. Was he tackled too early, Damien? Valimza was not letting him go. In that case, I'm wondering what's wrong with Andre Esterhazen and Luke Northmore, because they don't seem to want to use those two in the midfield. Whether or not that is because they've been worried about maybe the amount of skill that Dion Fourie has in a breakdown to be able to get those turnovers quickly. But yeah, they don't seem to want to use their midfield. Instead, they're going for the full kicks across field. Joe indeed would be a massive pull it off, or be massive pull it off the Kiwi lads on the cruise ship. And yeah, there's now live streaming from Ovation of the Seas. Be an interesting one, wouldn't it? Kiwi lads cruise. I feel like the thing is, all we would need is what would you need? Just Wi-Fi, really. If we were going to be streaming on the cruise, or if you're just going on a cruise, all you really need is a rugby ball. Just pass it around. Yeah, raise one will be a good one. Says Richard there. Ball going to be available now. Going to get this ball out the back, and it is going to be Herschel Yankees. Now to the right-hand side, Mani Libok. Low cross kick, and those are working for the Stormers. They aren't so much working for the Quins. Ball on the inside to Hudson-Berg. Now Valimza finds the pass away. Dixon moves up to halfway. Another advantage. That time for not rolling away. Penalty goes against the Quins. It's going to be for not moving away. I always love when they end up in the scenario of like a player will end up with the ball. And once the whistle goes, everyone thinks we have to get that ball right now. Even though we had no intention of taking it quickly. We just have to get that ball right now. And then everyone just swarms, gets angry. Just because, like, I don't know, the opposition's holding the ball when they shouldn't be. After the penalty's given, I guess. Be angry. And Stormers like, while Rhinos stampeding to the try line, blasting them back. And they do want the 3 points here. Used to play touch every week in Vanuatu with a bunch of the crew. There's Kerr there. And midnight tonight by me, WrestleMania. Says Evan. So, yeah, that will be starting around lunchtime, I believe, for us here in New Zealand. But, yeah, we won't be covering that one on the channel, mainly because of sleep. And also the next live streams. We have got, like I mentioned, about 12 to 14 hours of streaming that we are doing tomorrow. Yeah, we'll see how that ends up going. We have got the first stream, Samoa versus Kenya. We've got 3 previews videos that I've filmed, 2 of which have been edited at this stage. The third I still need to get through, and that is coming out tomorrow morning, or this morning, I should say, in about maybe 6 hours' time. Now, Mani Libok got a better strike of that one. It'll make the score 25 points to 7 now. Well, the Lions just beat the Sharks. There's Aidens, nicely done in the Curry Cup there. JJ Klutzia now making his way out onto the field. Johan Nidling here also replacing. And that is for Joseph Dweber and also Franz Malaharaba, the other replacement. Marcus Smith. Ready to kick this one off. The Stormers know that they need another 3 converted tries to get into the lead. That's going to be knocked on again by the Harlequins every time they have a chance to take that ball. They just seem to be dropping a Valimza and Hudson-Berg, good partners. The Stormers forward momentum. And also, that was your 3rd yawning for this game, Hamish. There's Dwayne there. Probably not too bad overall. The amount of hours that we have been awake and the amount of hours that we have done streaming-wise. As a big match, says even for Brock or Omas. It's hard to tell. Depends on what mood Brock's in. If Brock wants to have a longer match and he's actually going to do more than a 20-second squash, could be all right, but depends on Brock. Benetton 31, Connacht 12. Well, looking like Benetton going through handling errors, mate. Can't get stuff done them around. And yeah, every time lately they've had the ball, they've dropped it, unfortunately, which I don't know whether or not that is, well, I don't know what it is, because the Stormers, they've dropped the ball a bit as well, but nowhere near as much. Nuclear level cringe, says Scrumless. Nuclear level cringe? For the knock-ons, I assume it is. Got confused for a second. 58 minutes through. They just keep on getting forced back into their own area as well, but currently 40 meters out. Harlequins, another line out. Can they get this one right without knocking the ball on again? Here we go. Ball goes in. Held. Now Danny Kerr. Cross to Marcus Smith. Almost a 4 pass from Andre Esterhazen. Kerr. Back again to Smith. Nice step. Now another offload. Smith goes across. I believe it's going to be Jack Kenningham now. Down by big Marvin Ori on the halfway line. Here. Going back to the left-hand side. Marcus Smith. Short ball. Jeez, he's set up Nick David to get smashed in that tackle by Dan Duplessis. Now, quick hands from Smith again. Big run here from Andre Estes, and ball on the outside. Murley tries to cut inwards. Wasn't held. So is able to go again. Moves up to 25 meters out from the line. Danny Kerr to Marcus Smith. Oh, big double driving tackle there on Northmore. Now counter ruck from the Stormers. I think they've got lucky to get away with getting that ball there. But it's going to be Marcel Tennyson now. Harlequins going straight back for the ball. Herschel Yankees now going to Dan Duplessis. Kicking it in behind. It's going to be play on. Danny Kerr flicks it out the back to give it to Nick David. Trying to carve his way through the defensive line. Hit by Diamani. Heroes to the right-hand side. Good for Benetton. They're a decent side, especially at home. Yeah, and I'm in the mood for a serious T-bone steak, rear with potato wedges and maybe cheese and garlic sauce. Dip is delicious. Stop kicking those loose balls. Dangerous play. I believe we're going back for the penalty to the Harlequins again. Now they are $21 underdogs. So I don't know what happened in difference between $7.50 when they did concede a try and now, but $21 underdogs for the Harlequins come back and win this game with only the 20 minutes remaining. Some would say that the last 20 is when the Harlequins are at their most dangerous. At less possession, they've had less territory. Turnovers conceded 10 apiece for these two sides. Right, they'll be about 15 meters out. Are they going to make up for the atrocity that Zebre performs or provided the viewers all the time, says Sebastian? And also nice to see their their hard work paying off. They definitely have a love for the game. There's Kerr. And yeah, that's the thing. They've gone from easy beats to competitive. And even to a certain extent, Zebre, like a side that somehow haven't won a game, but have 10 points from being within 10 times. Like as soon as they do win, they're going to be absolutely buzzing. Marcus Smith, massive amount of pressure on him. Counter ruck coming from Mani Libok. Able to get it. Oh, interception chance. Referee has slipped over on the touchline. Another knock on from the Harlequins. It's going to be another scrum. So maybe some sort of injury here. The ankle of the big man, Dino Lamb. Two more changes being made. Marcel Tennyson and Brock Harris making their way onto the field for the Stormers here. Sebastian, they need Skulk Berger back with extra fries. Fuff's here to bring magic back. Yeah, those cross kicks have been the luck of the bounce. Like playing rugby and lotto together benefits no one, says this news. Like, don't get me wrong, if it works, it looks great and it can be effective. But if it doesn't work, you just look like you don't trust that your backline can make meters, which we've seen already that the Harlequins can when they start doing well. We need to stop knocking the ball on, Roof, says Sebastian in there as well, with the smiling face. But really behind that smiling face, I feel like there's that grimace of why do they keep on doing the same thing over and over again? Every breakdown at the moment, they either drop it or they don't even get to the breakdown and they drop it. Herschel Yankees to feed the ball in for the Stormers. A big push there. Penalty to the Harlequins. That is something we haven't said too often at scrum time. Looks like they want to take it quickly. Danny Kerr says something to Marcus Smith, but I believe instead they will kick this one into touch. And true Hamish Harley needs some points, says the snooze. And also we still gutted. We're still gutted to Clerk is missing the Rugby World Cup, says Kerr there. Yeah, big shame, really. And also 7 in the comments, 7 reality. Says, yeah, it's about it as well. Unless they score now, then there might be a little bit more of a smile behind the curtains, but penalties conceded. We've actually seen only 6 against the Harlequins, which means they've given up possession so many times from dropping the ball. Danny Kerr, almost an interception thrown, but it's going to be Murley now, charging at Damien Valimza, who sat down. Dion Fourie gets back up to his feet. He's over the top of the ball. It's going to be a penalty easily for the Harlequins there. Now Marla goes back to Marcus Smith, does a spin, running backwards here. They're either going to have to start attacking or they will go back for that original penalty. They're going back for it now. Kerr calls through it. I believe they will kick this one for the corner once again here, the Harlequins. They've got 17 and a half minutes remaining, $26 underdogs, but you cannot put money on it and let it loose, Sebastian. Oh, they've taken the quick tap, in fact. They've decided against the line out, and instead, maybe it's time to just throw some bodies at the line. 5 meters out, Joe Marler. Second carry of the match, I believe it is for him, which just tells me that the Harlequins have nowhere near used it enough in their forwards. Now, almost. Oh, he's given away the penalty. Another one. Stormers, I believe that time it's for the neck roll on Dion Forry. They had to get him out of there. They did do it illegally, and my bot fly half was Andre. Also, Lyon are just overtaken Stade Francais. Start been looking, Stade been leading all game. And also, who do you think Stormers will be against? Montpellier or Exeter? It's a home game for Montpellier, I believe. So I think they will get the job done narrowly. Fumbling the passes and don't keep the ball in their hands. I think too much Vaseline or hair gel on the hand, Sebastian. Here's Ruth. Our money, Libok. I'll be honest, the second half hasn't been the cleanest rugby that we have ever seen from either side, really. It's just, I guess, it's effective for the Stormers. So Jack Walker to take Dion Ferry out, who has pretty much guaranteed himself man of the match. Once again, the ball bouncing into the hands of the Stormers. We're famously quite keen on lubricants. Ruth, says Sebastian. And also, what about Clark? Might as well soak your hands in baby oil before you play. Yeah, Clark was a shocker when it came to catching that ball. Definitely that last play when they had a good chance of drawing. I think that's the one that people will remember. Murley breaking down the wing. Once again, great defense from the Harlequins. Dion Forry in there again, gets another turnover, but it's taken back by the Harlequins. Great work. And that's what you've got to do, because Dion Forry, every breakdown is going to be in there trying to turn it over. And like I mentioned, either the referees, depending on how they call it, he either gets a lot of turnovers or he gets minimal. In this game, he has had a lot of them. Now, be back across to the left-hand side. Big run from, I believe that was Wilco Lowe. Player going out the side again. Danny Kerr, short border. Don Brandt looping around to Marcus Smith. Quins just look like they are struggling with the rush defense here from the Stormers. Nice run there, though. Couple extra meters. Don Brandt round the side. Johan Nettling for Shear takes him down nicely. Now selling the big dummy. Straightens. Tackled by Brock Harris. Now, cross kick again. Not working. Goes into touch. Going up the possession. And what did Smith expect there? Did he expect his winger was going to be there for that kick or what? He's got to tell people if he's trying these things rather than just doing them for the sake of doing them. I also enjoy those burgers, buddy. Triple beef patties. And Hamish, you enjoy something delicious as well. Here's Roof and Hamish. We are still waiting for the sound of a full stadium cheering a try or conversion. Apart from that, awesome commentary, sir. Says Rieko. Reiko, is it? Hopefully I've said that correctly, but I do appreciate you being here, mate. Paul the Vet. Going to be replacing now Herschel Yankees. Dion is a Uster when it comes to the turnovers. Now, thrown in, nicely taken. Big Willie Engelbrecht now out on the field. Oh, no. Turnover not successful for William Evans. Kick tie from Manny Libok. Waiting for this one to come down. Not taken cleanly, but they will end up with the knock-on against the Stormers again. And good one, slippery when wet. Bon Jovi Hamish likes them, says Ruth. There as well. It's quite funny, though, the amount that when you mention like an artist or a song or anything, you do hear them. Like, they do play it at all the sevens, a bit of Bon Jovi on the tracks. I'm trying to listen to see if they're playing Bon Jovi at the moment, but I don't think they are. No, I don't think they are. Now 13 minutes remaining. Scott Berger, Boldwis. I was the best. Not around anymore. There's a roll off. Smith needs to try and do something here with a set play because the Harlequins are running extremely low on time. They want to get this win They need probably 2 converted tries and 1 unsuccessful one, somewhere around there to be able to take out the victory. Now, Danny Kerr feeds the ball in once again, going off to the right-hand side. Marcus Smith, short ball to Andre Esterhazen, makes a few extra meters post-contact. Now, Danny Kerr, good forward ball there. Going for Will Evans round the side. Danny Kerr with a bit of a snipe. He's realised that he might have to do a little bit of the action himself to help his side get a bit of go forward. Now, Dino Lamb wrestled down on the 22. Is Branco pronounced like Branco? Says a roof there. And also the crowd goes wild, says Kerr. 5 phases in. Rush defence there. Big tackle made by Hudson-Berg, who was already in the Harlequins backline by the time that the ball made it to the second player. Danny Kerr going back again. Good attacking run, I believe that was from Jack Walker. Off to the right, Marcus Smith. Back into the pocket, Andre Esterhazen starting to get some go forward now for the Quins. Kittingham with a nice step at about 4 Stormers players rushing over to him. Here, going flat into the hands of the big man. I believe that's the first time Herbst has touched the ball for the Harlequins. 12 phases in now. Once again, that rush defence from Hudson-Berg. Chip and mine from Marcus Smith goes straight into the hands of Damian Valimza. And once again, an unsuccessful one for Marcus Smith. Now, Mani Lebok counter-attacking opportunity here for the Stormers. They might seal the deal. Clayton Blomakis. Unfortunately, the grip just didn't quite stay there for him. The counter-ruck from the Harlequins is good. Ball now becomes available. Now, Herbst, second carry. In a very short amount of time. In South Africa, when the Bulls are playing, we used to hear Steve Hofmeyer Liefling. I thank the Lord that we don't have that anymore, says Reiko. Now out wide. Oh, it's dropped ball by Andre Esterhazen. Kicks it into the crowd out of frustration. Just doesn't seem to want to stick to the hands of the Quins today. And the Stormers, they'll be quite happy about this because the amount of times that the Harlequins have given them the ball when it comes to a scrum, when it comes to anything along those lines, because of knock-ons, is pretty massive. But Riley now making his way out there onto the field for the Harlequins. The stadium is not like Newlands. The vibe is totally different. At Newlands, the vibe was on fire, says Eben. I hear Sebastian frustrated with Bodie and Rico simply couldn't catch or hold the ball versus the Chiefs. And yeah, I think perfect example of that little bit of pressure because Bowden was playing well up until he stepped dead. And then after that, his mindset, he just couldn't quite get back in the focus zone. I don't think he did too much good after that, unfortunately. From now they've got bull bowlers. I think of what parts they put in there. Tasty, though, says Ruth. Tackle so far in this game. Dixon making 16, Ori making 15, Van Renem making 11. All in double figures. Thoughts on the Blues players getting tackled without the ball during that game? Sort of noticed by the drama, or noticed but the drama, says the snooze. I mean, there are a couple late shots, I think, both sides slightly getting a bit cheeky with it, getting away with a couple, but the breakdown at the moment, I think, is one of those big ones that easily seem to be just a coin flip at times. Who's going to end up getting it? Diep Afrikaans Roof. There's a roll off there. A couple more changes being made by the Harlequins. But the Blues, even with anything such as that happening, still had many opportunities to win that game. And unfortunately, they blew every single one of them. Pun not intended, but kind of. I guess you could say intended now. Yeah, they just didn't quite do it right. And also, we have got there. Are you okay, Hamish? You said you look a bit bleak. You need some sun. Commentary's still great, though. Are you okay, says Reiko? Yeah, I'm doing all right. I feel like I look a little bit more red than normal overall, but it is pretty warm in here at the moment. It's not too bad overall. 10 minutes, then we go for a bit of a walk around the hallway because it's nighttime, so that's what you do rather than going outside. And then, yeah, cook some breakfast. Well, / tea. I think it's going to be called tea more than anything. Oh, dropped the ball there, Paul DeVette, when he was trying to feed the ball into the scrum. Referee didn't notice, so play on. And it's going to be another advantage in favour of the Stormers. Now, Mani Lebok. What can he do? Finds it out to Hudson-Berg. Short pass to Damian Valimza. tries to pop it out the back, they'll be going back for the penalty to the Stormers. And these ones were crucial. Didn't see a replay, but Clark seemed to be one. Says the snooze there as well. Didn't see a replay, but Clark seemed to be one. Says the snooze. Not the last one where he dropped the ball, I assume. I assume that it was before that point. But I guess it's one of those ones that the referees, if they penalise it, they penalise it. If they don't, then they don't. Similar to the breakdowns, sometimes a bit of a 50-50. Harlequins may also have too much conditioner on. Bowden was distracted, and after the Stormers beat the Bulls 5 times in a row, you don't hear them singing anymore. There's Evan, and okay, Hamish, you should know best. Team never killed anyone yet. Have a stout, mate. Says Rico there. It'll be the youngster, Baxter, isn't it? Baxter something. No, Finn Baxter. There we go. No idea Baxter in there somewhere. But yeah, once I have some decent food, I'll be all right. I've only been having pretty much snacks throughout the hours that I've been awake, but that has been coming on to 19 hours now that we have been awake. That might be it as well, to be fair. JJ Kutsia now throwing the ball in. Nicely taken by Tennyson. Second half has dragged a little bit for this game, I have to say. Mainly because of the amount of scrums that we have seen. Both sides, not really a huge amount of points being scored early on in the second half. The Harlequins did concede. Other than that, Canamurti drops the ball. It's another knock on. Nice. That is going to be more time eaten up, like they mentioned. Stormers might consider going for another chance. Baxter, a beer or stout. Says the Reco. I'd probably stick to the water for this time of the night, seeing as it is 4 a.m. almost by the time that this game is over. Hence why it looked like he dropped it, but I didn't see a replay. Says the snooze there. I mean, if he was too early tackled, I would have thought it would end up of being offside rather than maybe a tackle without the ball scenario. I think they would have gone for offside instead. Gonna do some work now. Check your rockers later. And Hamish, thanks a million, says Roof. No worries. We'll see you later on. And 5:40 p.m. Yeah, mate. Yeah, nice hour game in South Africa. We recently had daylight saving, so really it's 4:40 a.m. here in New Zealand up until they changed it. Slam down. It's all breaking down now. Willie Engelbrecht squaring up to one of the Harlequins players. Everyone's angry. Marnie Libok gets it out wide. The referee wasn't looking, so they weren't able to take it quickly. Second man, ruck was formed. They have said. Yeah, the crowd's starting to get behind their side now with only 7 minutes remaining. The Mexican wave. Great swig there, Hamish. Says Reco, cheers. And also, that's my excuse now for Kiwi Lads time, says Kerr. We'll take it. Crowd attendance, 33,651, so a decent crowd. They'll want more, though, I assume. And hey, what's up, Hamish? Says Music Kiwi. Welcome in, mate. We have been keeping well. We've got the Sevens tomorrow, Super Rugby as well. It'll be an exciting one. Right, Marnie Libok. That one into touch, slowly curling towards the corner. Will only be about 5 meters for a rolling more. Cheers, Hamish. And this is Recon all the way from America. There's Music Kiwi. You did mention that you were going on a trip over to America in the near future, so hopefully you have been enjoying it so far. Jose Kotsia saying that they're closing the gap a little bit. I think when you're 25 points to 7 up, it wouldn't really matter hugely. Now going for the rolling maul here for the Stormers, getting close. Harlequins just narrowly hanging on, I believe, soon. Finn Baxter will have to disjoint, and that is going to be another try this time. Willie Engelbrecht is the man who does manage to get a Benetton of 41 and Connacht 19. 2 or 3 minutes left in the game, so it does look like Benetton will get themselves the victory in that contest. The Stormers, when they move on from this game, they will be facing either Exeter Chiefs or the other option is Montpellier. Those are the two sides that they may find themselves facing due to the earlier win for the Sharks. They'll be facing either the Bulls or Toulouse. Can't believe the scoreline was expecting more tries. I'm not complaining. The Bock has definitely been off. His kicking game says to be a due here as well. And I think both teams have struggled a little bit. Are there more games that you are going to stream? Says Tenny. We were originally going to stream Ulster versus Leinster, but then I remembered that I was a human and that sleep is kind of important. But we've got about maybe 12 to 14 hours of live streams tomorrow. So there's going to be more that we are doing. But yeah, we will need to sleep at some point. So I'll be cooking some food after this live stream, finishing another video that I am editing, getting everything scheduled for tomorrow, which will involve maybe about 6 live streams going up on the channel. It's 4:45, says the snooze. It is all quarter to 4 now that daylight saving has come in just to confuse us. Must be tired. So I'm in New Zealand time on. It's 4 a.m. There's the music Kiwi. My money Libok with 4 minutes remaining to take this kick. And Bright Time H, cheers, thanks. Now for a victory beer for the Stormers. Says Eben, that kick has gone over, making the score 32 points to 7 in the Stormers' favour. With 4 minutes remaining, there's still time for maybe one more try from either of these sides. The rolling maul has been extremely effective. I believe that is where 4 of the tries for the Stormers have come from, or somewhere around there. Game over, Benetton 1, says Richard. I know at least 3 have come from that rolling maul. Something that a lot of sides will be trying to work out how to shut down in the future. But the Harlequins end up with this ball now. A bit of a counter-attack. Inside ball to Danny Kerr. Outside ball once again. Good step. Just seems like they're getting their feet a little bit too stuck in the ground to get the acceleration going. Danny Kerr, though, goes back, bouncing ball. Picked up nicely. Now Callum Murley sits one player down. Tries to break through Blomikis. He does, but Paul DeVet able to stop him. Can we play Harlequins every week, please? Says Graham, wide cut out pass now for the Quins. Inside ball, Dom Brandt scores his second, but he might have injured himself. Looks like something to do with either shoulder or elbow there for Alex Dombrand. He scored a try, but at what cost? He's in a lot of pain at the moment here. And the question now is going to be, is he out for more than just a little bit of time? Could he end up missing that World Cup? Have to wait and see. Dombrand getting the last minute try, managing to get his second of the contest. He's the only Quins player who's been able to score at this point. And try, last try wins, isn't it? Says Sebastian. I guess you could play by those ones, although he looks like he's pretty sore at the moment. It took only 4 million years, says Grumless. They hung on to the ball for a bit, and it made all the difference. They were able to score a try when they didn't drop it. Marcus Smith only taken 1 kick today. Gets this one over. We'll make the score now 14 points to 32. Dombrand, he's going to continue this match by the looks of him. They've gone, there's only 2 minutes left. Can you continue? And he's gone, yeah, all right. Might as well. Great inside ball to Dombrand. And yeah, that arm just got kind of crushed underneath him, using his own body weight as well as Blomikis. Stormers walking up to the halfway line. It's actually something that happened in the last game when the Sharks ended up conceding late up against. Oh, looks like Murley's off the field. That is going to be for Allen. Tommaso Allen. Getting his way out onto the field. Also, it seems like 21, Danny Kerr's replacement. Getting the chance. And there's still time left for the Stormers try. Oh, the Hurley's front line. We're walking the game at the breakdown. Stormers deserving, but should have fired up like that from the get-go. Nice tackle on the Harlequins. Sitting 30 metres. Oh, Marcus has gone for the chip and chase. This time, though, the bounce of the ball is favourable. It sits up. He's finally got one right. Ball on the outside to Andre Estes. Another try for the Harlequins. It always makes you wonder, doesn't it? Why didn't they do this like 20, 30 minutes ago? What was the score for the Blues and the Chiefs? 20 points to 13, Kerr said, and that was in favour of the Chiefs, who still remain undefeated at this point. And last try, Harlequins wins a done their game, says Blues Nate. And well, says Scrumless. And damn, I saw Barrett failed to score a try. Yeah, he made a big balls up at that one, unfortunately. Did end up stepping dead, which we actually called from the start. And they did have to go upstairs and check it after a little bit of discussion. Yeah, the chip and chase, ugly bounce of the ball that time. It actually worked in the favour of the Harlequins, which is something we haven't been able to say too much throughout this contest. Another well done, the Quins. Says Evan there, kicked off by the Stormers again. They're going to concede another try before the end of this game. Another penalty. That time it's for the high tackle. Now Alex Dombrandt takes the quick tap, just decides to run at the line. Going off now, I believe that is Tommy Allen. Just inside of their own 22 here for the Harlequins. Stormers trying to drive them backwards and get themselves a possible turnover. Marcus Smith, he goes for the grubber this time. Sits up for Damien Valimza. And I believe more than likely they'll be just trying to put this ball into touch. The Harlequins, though, it is a clean turnover in the counter-ruck. They'll get the ball back. Where was this fight? He's tried to grubber it. He's going to put it close to the touchline. LeBoc just headbutted the ball, but it's knocked on by the Quins. I guess starting the way that they finish off. In fact, it's going to be a penalty infringement, so the Harlequins will get themselves another chance. Nuttall scored 2, Riccatelli and Clark on the score sheet. And there as well. And Barrett is way different from the Canes. And he's just too relaxed on what he can really do. And bro, Hamish, some Americans are so weird over here, though, LMAO. I guess it's just different, like, different culture, different food. Have you had, like, a massive New Yorker pizza yet? Music Kiwi? We went down Swing It, at least, and they are still trying. It's just, yeah, it's weird that they waited so long. Like, if they were one more try closer, and this one was to get them the win, would have been interesting, because this last little while, they have been looking better. Passes have been crisper. Joe Marchant's touched the ball, which I swear we saw once throughout the whole match. A bit too late, but we still love him. Now on the outside, nice run from Sam Riley, bumping off one of the Stormers players. Harlequins can see themselves getting up to 28 points here, making it a close fixture. That's hard on Will Collier's legs, but somehow it looks like he's going to be broken here, Will Collier, falling extremely awkwardly. Kicked in the face there, I think. Well, Tema there. Now, Quinn's trying to break through again. I don't know whether or not Will Collier has got up. They're going to be going back for another penalty. Is he still down? Yep, Will Collier, looks like his hip or something is gone at the moment, unfortunately. Just the way he got tackled, that grippy turf as well. Then one man on one where, a big man should not do the splits like that. Tell you what, he's flexible for a guy his size, but that wouldn't have felt nice. Welcome to take Cape Town, who beat you, but give you some freebies, says Evan. And also we have got there just a bit too late, mate, says Fleshin. I'm sure that makes him feel so much better, Fleshin. Won't be sitting at his keyboard or phone going, right. Harlequins, though, I've got another penalty. And yikes, time for cones. Says Scrumless. Is he going to be able to continue? He looks like he's going to be all right here, Will Collier. He's a tough man. Maybe he's been working on the flexibility. I mean, a man his size, if you can do the splits, that's impressive in its own right, but it's hard on the groin, it's hard on the hips. Just asking, do you want to continue? Just taking a bit of a breather at the moment, Will Collier, just trying to work out whether or not one of his nuts has gone round the backside. Possession 58% for the Harlequins throughout this match, 59% territory. A lot of turnovers made, 26 tackles missed by the Stormers. Crunchy pelvis syndrome, says Grumlass, and also Leon won their game in the other Challenge Cup game, says Richard. So they're slowly shaping the quarterfinals. All of the groupings. I was in rugby shorts, and count them, Will. There has to be two of them. Sebastian looks like he's gonna not continue. Wilco Lowe has come back out onto the field just for this final wee moment. The Harlequins 5 meters out from the line, throwing into the front, looking for the rolling maul set play. Instead, actually using the back or big shot on Ryan Nusterhazen low by Mani Leboch. Shot on Finn Baxter. Good hands. Not sure who that was. I think it might have been actually the replacement, George Hammond. Now Joe March and rush defence there from the Stormers. Once again here, Wilco Lowe would have thought that his day was over. Gets the knee down. They will have to release him. Yeah, it was good, says the referee. Now, once again, Baxter. Off to the right, Smith looping around here. Risky offload. Goes to Andre Esterhazen, though. 20 meters out from the line. Wins another carry for Finn Baxter. Back across, Wilco Lowe. Goes to Marcus Smith. Short ball, bit of a hospital pass. Mani Leboch. Oh, picked up by March and smooth as you like. And it's going to be the try at the end of this contest for Joe March and the Harlequins. Going to make this one look not too badly on the scoreboard, but it will be 28 points. Or will it? I've said it's gone backwards, so I don't think it's going to be a knock on. It should be a try. Local boys will go low, coming back to greet his own fans, says Grant. They have called it as a try. Grant's Walt's game of the round for me, says Sean there. I'm generally feeling better. At least this way it's not a blowout, says Sebastian. Yeah, they had that late comeback like they always do. They just didn't have that extra one try that could have got them over the line. And not nice if a player gets hurt in the 80 minutes. Says Evan, yeah, never good. Hopefully Will Collier is going to be all right. Are we checking this one upstairs? We are. Apparently we are checking to see whether or not this was a knock on. By the sounds of it, it is fine. Marcus Smith now to line up this kick. Make the score that tag closer. 32 points to 28. Ain't not entertained. Says scrum last kick successful. The end score in this contest, 32-28 in favour of the Stormers. So they will walk away with the victory. Marcus Smith kicking himself there, annoyed that they weren't able to get over the line. It's a tough fought battle. Definitely man of the match goes to Dion Forey again. Seems to get it every single match. And his teammates know how much of an impact he was able to have in this contest to help them over the line. Not just twice when he was scoring tries, but also with that turnover. Nonetheless, do thank you all very much for tuning in. The next game that we are going to be covering will be the Sevens tomorrow afternoon early on. That will be the 1:30 or so p.m. game between Kenya and Samoa. Then from there, we've got a couple more quarterfinals that we are covering. Super Rugby Pacific, we are going to be doing with me and George, the Hurricanes versus the Western Force. Then from there, we jump into some semi-finals for the Sevens as well as Knights Place playoffs and whatnot. And then we got the final later on in the night, maybe, hopefully, Toulouse versus the Bulls in the next game. But thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, sure leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And I will see you all for the next one.